All right, testing one, two. Okay. All right, cool. So this is going to be a quick video. Hopefully, it's a quick video kind of going over this new add-on that I made. Um, Basically, for people that do modding for Tekken 8, this should be the resource for it. Where you can get this add-on, you can go to my GitHub, um, CDDT Reborn Tekken 8 resources. If you go to code, you're going to look for Texture Baker. Texture Baker right here, version 1-1. When you download this, you can go ahead and install it. This works for 3.6 all the way up to 4.5 of Blender. To install it, you're just going to go to Edit, Preferences, and it's already installed in mine, but you'll go to 4.5. You got to go up here to this link up here to install. For 3.6, the install option is just right up there. But basically, you'll just go to install from this, find where it's located, and then click on it. And then this will pop up, and you'll be able to use it. Now, this is going to just show up on the side of your bar right here, and you'll have access to it. So, the main thing that this is doing is going to be to bake textures, because a lot of the times what happens is you'll get a model, or you'll make a model, or whatever, and you'll want to use it with the materials that are already in Tekken 8, so that way you can have the best results. But oftentimes you don't get that setup, so this is going to help you get that. So basically, what this is going to do is, if I take, say, this outfit right here, these jeans, right? These jeans, if I look at the actual um, setup for it, and this looks a little bit different in 4.5 than it does in the 3 series, but it's essentially the same. I've got a regular texture map right here, and I've got it plugged into the base color. Now, the regular textures are usually fine if we're not making any changes to like the UVs or whatnot, but what we don't have is like the roughness values. Um, if I wanted to add more normal data, if I want to make this a little cleaner, I want to make some updates to it. If I want to make it metally like, right, we got some metal pants for whatever reason. Um, let's say I wanted to use this it's not like that. Let's go ahead. We'll do a really, I'm going to use like a bump map, and I'm going to use this color for my normal. All right, it usually doesn't work very well, but let's see if I do this. We'll say color ramp. All right, so say I wanted to add some new normal textures like that. Oops. Give me a little bit. I need a lot. There we go. Now, that's not the most advisable way to do it, but that's something that you can do to create your normal maps, right? Let's say I want to change, we don't want it that metallic. I want the roughness to be a little bit more rough or full rough. Let's go ahead and turn specular down, so there's not really a lot of reflection on it. Probably turn the roughness down a teeny bit, whatever. I can make some adjustments, but then I want to be able to use it in Tekken 8. So what this allows you to do is to create those maps and bake them. So you don't have to go to Photoshop or somewhere else. You can just do it right in Blender from where you're at. So let's see. This is going to be called, I'll just call this Demo Light. And I just want to bake these. So you can generate an AO if it doesn't have one. Like I don't have one here. But it takes a little bit of time, so we're not going to do that. So I'm just going to unclick it, and you can get an RMA and an MRA. So RMA is pretty much a channel pack texture with the roughness, metallic, and then the AO. If I don't have this set, the AO defaults to 1, so there's pretty much no AO. MRA is the same thing, except it goes metallic, roughness, and then AO. But if I want to go ahead and bake that, it's real simple. I'm just going to click on this, and I'm just going to hit bake. And then it takes a few seconds to go ahead and bake. And there we go. There's my map. It's a very simple map. There's not a lot of involved to it, but this will work perfectly in a Tekken 8 mod. All right. The other maps that we have TSE, which is translucency, specular, and emissive. Um, if I had some emissive parts, I could do that, but let's go ahead and you can. The other option that it does is it creates these different nodes in here, and we can clear those and get rid of them, so it goes back to normal. All right. Let's say I had some emissive in here. We'll say it like we'll make it purple, right? Whatever. Let's go ahead and make a TSE. And if I go ahead and hit build, so I can just bake it straight out the box, or I can hit build. If I hit build, it'll just make the nodes here. This will be what it gets baked to, and this is how things are combined. All right. There we go. Nice. So let's go ahead and bake it. Now the emissive doesn't work exactly the way I want it to. So for now, it's mostly focusing on creating the specular. I'll probably do an update to make some changes to it in the future. But there we go. We got our blanket TSE. If I want a normal map, it's the same thing. I don't have to really do anything special. I can just switch it to normal and bake it. And you can see that it has some of those goofy details that I put in here, right? Anything that you, and what this will do is it'll take anything. So if you made it a more custom, normal, and a lot of different things. All right. So however complex the normal setup it is, it's just gonna pull it from the last thing hooked up to it. Go ahead and clear that. And we're back to a nice clean one. Now the color PC thing, what this will allow us to do is do a color map. So it'll take the base color data. So if I hit build, I want to like spread it out and take a look at it. Um, it'll look for any transparencies or whatnot, right? It's gonna look for the alpha, whatever was hooked up to the alpha. Let's go ahead and clear this, and let's create an alpha real quick. So I'm gonna create a texture here. We'll play image texture. Excuse me. Let's call it untitled for right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and hook this up to here, right? So it's just a black texture. I'm gonna with the texture, I'm gonna go ahead and save that real quick. Save as. All right, let's go into texture paints, and let's go ahead and switch this to this. We'll set this to fill. All right, so now it's all white. And let's say I wanted to have holes in here. I could then draw some holes, blah, 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 whatever. All right, let's go ahead and save that. Nice. So let's see if I wanted to use this as like my alpha. So I'm going to go ahead and just plug this into alpha wherever you're at, right here. And let's plug this back in here. All right, so now there's holes in my stuff. My apologies, I've got a bad cough today. There we go. And so now I have a, right, so there's the alpha. If I look at the alpha map, there it is. Color. So if I'm using a decal map that we would use in the pattern color, this will be perfect for that option. If I just want a regular diffuse without the alpha, then I could just go to diffuse, right? I can bake that. Sorry, there we go. We've got a regular diffuse. But say we want to make parts of it colorable. We don't want to use this blue color on here. We can switch this to gray, bake it. And there we have it. Now for the ID section, if I want to do an ID map, it's pretty much the same thing as the color map, but it gives you, as you can see, or maybe I'll try to explain it. It has a suffix that kind of like corresponds with whatever type it is. So if it's RMA, OBD, TSC, whatever, you'll have it. So the ID map I'm still working on, but essentially, let's go ahead and get rid of this for now. But if I had this set up for an ID map, then I could. Let's see if I can make a generic one real quick using a color ramp. So let's see if we can isolate an area. Not really getting good results there, so let's try using separate. Use a separate color node, and I'm going to try to, let's see, what would be the best? Using blue. Not really giving me anything good. Let's try red again. Okay, so let's say, yeah, so let's say we got this, right? Say that's one ID, and let's see, we just do this one, and I want to try to see if I can just isolate belt, which I don't think I'm going to be able to do. Uh, no, but well, actually, let's just use this one. So I'm going to use this to create, let's see, we'll invert this real quick. All right, so basically I want to create a real simple ID map. We'll say mix color. You get over here. And I'll plug this into the factor. Put this into here. And we're going to use red and say blue. All right, full red, full blue. Make a nice two color map. And then I would just bake that. And now I've got an ID map. Now this still has the alpha associated with it, so um, you have to remove the alpha either in Unreal Engine or another program. I'm looking for a way to figure all of that out. I just haven't figured it out yet. But for now, that's your ID map. So that's the pretty easy way to get all of your maps pretty quickly um, and ready to go, right? So that's that's that. Now this also comes with a couple other tools along with it. So I've got a consolidated UVs tool. So let's grab our monkey. So let's say we got our monkey right here. And let's isolate. So we just got Suzanne right here. So we got Suzanne here. If we go into edit mode, it already has some UVs by default. Good to go, right? But say I have two monkeys, right? It's a monkey with a head on it, right? And I don't want to join them, but I do want to create one material for it. So let's give each of these a material just so that we can just see it's different. So we'll give this one and make it whatever color, and we'll make this one and make this its own color. So there we go. All right, cool. And I want to make a new map for it. So we're going to go to Consolidate here. Um, Override existing just means that if you already created a consolidated, it'll replace the consolidated one. If I didn't have this, it would create another one that's like consolidated.001, right? So that's it. Just make sure they're both selected. Create the UVs, and you can see now I've got a new set of UVs. If I go here and look, switch between, I have the original plus the new one. Um, let's say I wanted to add another one in here, right? And give this a new material, red. All right, select all of these. We'll say, let's not override it, and we'll go ahead and create it. All right. So if I go over here, you can see consolidate 0.001, and now you can see the new UV maps. We go to edit mode. You see they're all there. Now, if I click on one of them, you can see that they're all there like that, right in their spot. Okay, what this allows us to do is I can essentially turn all of this into one material, right? I can use one material to use for all of these. So now that they're all set, they're not overlapping or anything, I can go ahead and select all of these three objects, go up to my baking. Let's just do a quick color. We'll do this one, bake it. And it will be named based on the active. So this will be called Susanna.002C, right? And there you go. We've got our three materials all consolidated to one. Go back and use it whenever you want to, however you want to, right? It's fine. Delete them, keep them, doesn't matter. So there's that option, which saves a lot of time because I don't have to join them into one piece. I can keep them all separate. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And there. Let's see, what are the tools we got here? This works if you want to change the blend mode. It's not really a big thing in 4.5 because the alpha is already kind of like set, but it works in 3.6 as well, where it's a little bit more relevant. So you could try it out there. The quick weight transfer is one that I really like. So let's go ahead and I'm going to delete these for a second, right? And let's take a look at this pair of pants. So I've got two pairs of pants, right? Let's go to these ones and let's put this back here like that. All right. So I don't want to combine these or anything, but I do want the weights. And normally what I'd have to do is I'd have to take weights from this, click on this, and transfer it, then click on this, and then click on this, and then transfer it. But if I want these weights to be on both of these items, I want to do it all at one time. So now I can. So what I can do is I can also clear all the weights from here, which might be, I like to do it um, just so things are clear with a good transfer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these pairs of pants, right? And then I'm going to go here and delete vertex groups. Boop. And now both of those have no vertex groups on them. I still have vertex groups on this one. And I want all of these to have the weights from here. So I'm going to select all three of these, right? If I'm in the 3D viewport, I can hold shift and click on the body, the source, and you'll see it gets the light orange. If I'm in here and I use control, that'll do the same thing. I don't know why it's not the same button, but that's the way it is. This is an auto generate data layers option. So we're going to turn that off for a quick second, and I'm going to go ahead and just hit start. boop, it does it. And what that has done is, if I click on these, it adds the weight transfer modifier to it, but it does not actually apply the weights. So if I go in here, you see there's no weights actually on it yet, and I'd have to go ahead and generate them. If I generate them, you'll see now we've got weights on here. Let's go to like the hip. You can see the weights have transferred. Now the benefit of doing it without the auto is that you can say you don't want to replace it, say you want to add it, you can do that. Say you want to change your vertex data, vertex groups, and you want to do a different setup here, you could switch that as well. Um, Before you turn over, say you don't want to do nearest face, you could do all that, change that. Then once that's done, you can generate it yourself. Now, if you're fine with the default nearest face, interpolated, all layers by name, etc., then you can just go ahead and just do it on your own, or set it to auto generated, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just delete this for right now, and I'll delete it from here as well. I'm going to go ahead and just clear the groups again, right? So they're empty, and we'll click this as our source, and we'll do add data. You can see vertex groups showed up in the little thingy here. And if I click on any of these, you see that the weight's already on it. So it's a quick way to transfer weights very fast to multiple items. This also works if you have, say, a mesh with a bunch of pieces on it, right? Like a bunch of armor, or the body is all not joined together, and say you don't want to join it together. This option will allow you to select all those pieces, then select your source and apply all the weights to it. Saves you a lot of time, right? So that's what that does. And I think the last thing on here is the remap the duplicates to the base. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to delete that for now. Let's go ahead and grab our Suzanne monkey, and let's grab some material for her. So we got material 3, and I'm going to duplicate this, but this is going to be switched to material 6. And these look like they might still have there. So I've cleared the nodes away because the materials themselves still had the setup on them. And we'll do one more. We'll grab this one, right? And let's see, 5, right? Cool. And we'll make sure that's cleared as well. So we're good. All right, so each of these have a different material on them, and I want them all to have the same material. So what I can do is if I use this consolidate, it'll find the material that's not 0.005, so it'll find essentially this material and set everything to that, right? So let's just do that real quick. See, now they all have that. And you can see that when it does it, it asks you, it will turn this material to this material, blah, blah, blah. Now let's say you want this to be your main material. You can go into here and do that, right? So now when I grab these, it'll ask what it wants to do. Say yes. There we go. Okay, so that's good if you, sometimes what happens when you like import like a mesh multiple times, uh, it'll create duplicates of it, and then you'll have this dots at the end of here, and you don't want those anymore. You just want everything to be the same. This will be a quick way to help clean all of that up. You can always hit Control Z to go back and do that. So that's pretty much. Oh, you can also change the resolution, and you can have a debug. This will, whenever you do your bake, it'll create like a little. Look here, let's do this. We'll do a bake. And if you wanted to see what was printed, you can go to Python scripting info, and it says what it's doing. Actually, I think it's in console, but not console. I think it's in system console. Yep, see? So it says kind of what's happening, right? Mapping this image, blah, blah, blah. So if you want to check it out or see if there's an issue or see if something was skipped. Um, oh, I turned it all the way off. But that's pretty much it. We can go ahead and let's go ahead and set it up on Blender 3.6 real quick. I think that's what I just opened, but I'm not sure. Come on. Okay, yep, cool. I'm not gonna say. Oh, wait, what? Why did it do that? I don't know why I just canceled it out. Okay, general. Here we go. I think I already have it set up. Yep, it's already set up here. But I'm gonna go up to preferences, go to texture. So this one, so click on this, and I'm gonna hit remove. Right, and we'll go ahead and install it. So wherever you saved it to, so I've got it here. Oops, I need the zip here. Install add-on. There it is. Turn it on, and now you have access to it. Cool. So same thing works here. Let's grab like a UV sphere. We'll grab this cone. Let's grab monkey. Blah. So if I want to grab all of these and I want to do the consolidated thing, I can do that. Create consolidated. If I went to edit mode, you would see they're all consolidated. Of course, you can change them however way you want to, but it's a quick way to get that done. So all the tools still work exactly the same here in Blender 3.6 as they do in 4.5 and should be for 4.2 as well. Um, as for the opacity thing, let's say I threw a material on here, um, and I'll set the blend mode to, well, actually, let's go to our shader editor and we'll go to alpha and make our alpha like so. As you can see, nothing really changes. Make it, oops, not that. Let's change this color. Purple. Nothing really changes. Um, even though I have the alpha set. So what I can do is go into here, go to this, switch this to alpha hashed, apply to selected, and now you can see that it's set, or to blend mode if that's what you want. Right. So depending on whatever type of blend that you want, you can send it back to alpha clip. Oh, that looks kind of crazy. For whatever purpose that you want. Right? And you could apply it to all of them. So let's see if this one had a lot of alpha gone. Right? So say all of these, I wanted to see it, I could be like, boop, apply to selected. Now they're all set. This one is barely opaque, but you see they're all working the way they're supposed to. Right? You can just switch them back if you want to. Done. So this works on everything. The bigger the resolution, the longer it's going to take to cook. It defaults to AO. I would suggest just turning that off. At some point, I might just make this as the non-default, but for now, that's how it's set. If you want to get the documentation for it, you can go up to here. It'll lead you to my Blender wiki where I go over the controls, how it all works. Um, oh, one of the things that is important to note is that this works with a printable BSDF. If you're dealing with like a XPS model, they have their own shaders. You'll need to create a printable BSDF and then plug stuff from there into it for it to work. Um, I'll be using this when I do future mods, so that'll be an example. If it doesn't have a printable BSDF, if it has a different type of shader inside of it that it can't read, it'll just skip it and it will let you know that it was skipped. So let's say we're going to do this here and um, this one. I'm going to, there's other types of shaders, I believe. Let's see, we got a shader. Let's see, diffuse BSDF, right? All right, there we go. Delete that. Okay, so let's grab all of these and let's go to, I'll just make a color one real quick. And I'll set this to like 10, 24, 10, 24. Bake it. Okay. And if I was to go into edit mode, you can see that this, or let's grab all this. See that this UV map doesn't have anything in that image. So if I go back to the image here, you'll see that, I'll check that. These for the monkey, for the cone, but this was skipped. And I believe if you want to see what happened, you can toggle and it'll be like no active image found in material 0.001 for the sphere. So it got skipped. The other ones got worked. So one material was skipped, the others are fine. Right? So that's how that all works. Go ahead and clear the notes. Right, clicking around doing too much stuff at one time. No. Yeah. So I do that a lot whenever I'm doing these videos. As I overtax my system. But that's how it works. That's where the guide is. That's how you get it set up and installed. And you should be good to go. So hopefully this will help some people that are modding. You could probably use this for other things. If somebody wanted their own style of channel packed, like say an ORM or one of the other styles, you can hit me up on Discord and I could see about adding those. But since I don't have a personal need for them right now, they're not added. But if enough people really do want that, I can add that as an option. But that's all there is to it. If anyone wants to use the source code, they can grab it. It's just one PI file within the add-on. So you can do that. But that's all I have for now. Hit me up on Discord if you have any questions. If you run into issues or errors, let me know. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. And